Hello and welcome to Craft Life Academy. I'm Chris Tailby and I'm a seven-figure online crafts seller, and that's across Etsy, Amazon and Shopify. And today I'm giving my 4 biggest mistakes that crafters make when they're selling their crafts online. And to kick off this story, we're going to take a look at Joe.
Here's Joe. Joe loves owls. Joe had heard how people make custom mugs to sell on Amazon and Etsy, and so decided to make his own collection of owl mugs. Joe bought pictures of owls from stock photos and got to work. Joe got excited and made lots of owl mugs. He loved them and was excited to get them online to start selling. He started off by joining Amazon. He then sat back and waited for the sales to start coming in. He then checked his PC the next morning to see, but no sales. He checked back every day for 2 weeks, but not a single sale. He then decided that Facebook must be the better place to sell. So he then created his own Facebook page along with a Facebook shop. But guess what? Still no sales. Joe then decided to do what Facebook told him to pay to boost his products. He did, but guess what happened? He got a bunch of likes, 2 comments, but still no sales. Joe gave up.
So what was Joe's big mistake? Well, Joe was making what he personally liked, and it's a big mistake from a lot of first-time crafters. They make crafty items, show their friends and family, and everyone loves them, of course. And then they go ahead and introduce an Etsy or Amazon store and then go on to record very little or disappointing levels of sales. And it's a big mistake when we can actually look at data-driven, proven products, in-demand products that are proven to be recording high levels of sales. And there are a number of ways in which we can do that, and of course we have the skills. So I was speaking to a lady just last week who was making jewelry, and she was making like jewelries with different green colored stones in, and she wasn't getting any traction with it, literally just a couple of sales here and there. And it's just a case of, well, she's got the skills, so how can she adapt those skills to then make in-demand products? So I went ahead and showed her a few things from my strategy video. And if you're not sure how to make or how to use existing skills to make in-demand products, check out my video below on craft strategy. There's a lot in there about how to find in-demand products that are going to make sales for you. And now's probably a really good time to talk about the term copycat. Obviously it's a well-used term, and it's comes with very negative thoughts. Obviously no one wants to be called a copycat. So I want to differentiate between a copycat and a product developer, because this is a very important lesson to learn. And that is, a copycat is someone obviously who takes an existing listing and finds an exact piece, either sources the piece or makes the piece, copies the exact titles and tags and descriptions, and puts the product up for sale for perhaps just a little bit less. I mean, that's a copycat. Now, a product developer is someone who takes the time to do the product research, to find out items that they can make that are in high demand, and then takes a look at the listing and looks to see, well, what can we improve on here? So can we improve on the product itself? Can we improve on the photography? What can we do to write fantastic titles, tags and descriptions for this product? So that's a product developer. And also, if you're looking at sort of like signs, vintage signs and quotes and things like that, then there's obviously, you can then go ahead and outsource an alternate design. Although there are people right now obviously finding high demand downloadable products, downloadable guides, planners, things like that, and they're just dropping them into Canva and doing their own version. So that's product developer, and it's a really important thing to grasp, because if you go out there and you're just producing what you like and you're trying to come up with something completely original for every product or every idea that you come up with, because you think that's the best way to go about, being successful, then there's a good chance that you could become a cropper pretty quickly. And the reason for that is that if you've got no data, no idea about what is actually in demand for sure, then it's very easy to go ahead and try and be original and really to not record any sales, or very, very disappointing levels of sales. And that's not to say, don't be original. Of course, if you have a great idea and you want to go ahead and release a product that's completely sort of new and original to yourself, then of course go ahead and test with it. But on the whole, what I teach in Craft Life Academy is to go forth, if you like, and be a product developer. And so I teach the strategies that are used to determine in-demand products that are going to record sales for you, and then teach all of the best ways in which you can list that product for success, along with obviously the SEO and the strategy behind it, or any type of social media strategy, depending on whether you're going for lots of products or whether you're just going to niche down and just go for a smaller selection of products. But the term copycat absolutely gets your head around being a product developer and a copycat. And obviously don't be afraid to go out there and find great selling products and make them unique to yourself. You can differentiate yourself in so many different ways, so don't be afraid to do that. Big mistake number 2 is not having a strategy in place. Now, it's never too late to get a strategy in place. Many successful sellers will have a strategy in place before they even open their shop. But a strategy is exactly how it sounds. And on Etsy, there are a number of different strategies being deployed here. And a couple of strategies that I can talk about. One is playing the numbers game, and another is playing the niche down game, for instance. So if you're playing the numbers game, you're introducing lots of products. An example in recent times would be the digital downloads. People are producing 10, 15 a day sometimes in Canva, and then putting them up for sale in their Etsy stores, and they've got a set idea about how many new products they want to release every week, and it could be quite a large amount to get to, sort of like about 500 products within a fairly short space of time, like 6 months, 12 months. Same goes for people creating custom mugs. They're finding top selling designs on the mugs, could be just text, and then just going ahead and trying to improve on them slightly, just changing the text around, maybe introducing a picture, and then dropping that into the stores. And when they make a sale, it's just go ahead and print on demand. And it's a case of, again, they're just going for the numbers, a set amount every week, so many, 500, 1,000 products but in 12 months, and that's a strategy. And their marketing strategy around that will be purely around writing great titles, tags and descriptions and photography, because you're not going to deploy a social media campaign and link building for every single one of these products that you create. It's just not going to be possible. And so the strategy is literally the numbers game, and then getting the SEO and the writing titles and tags and descriptions and photography correct for every single product that you do, and doing it quickly. Now, then another strategy can be like the niche down game. So you pick a particularly high selling product, say for instance like a candle making or bath bombs, things like that, and then to take that big selling category and then to niche down. So if you got like a candle, it could be like vegan candles or vegan friendly bath bombs, and then again niche down to a luxury vegan bath bomb or luxury vegan candle, things like that. And so they've just taken a really what they know is a great selling item, and then just niche it down and then go for that niche. So every product that you develop, and it could just be a range of say 12, and literally going for luxury, going for top quality packaging. But for every product, there will be like a social media campaigns behind it, and also ongoing. So if you've got like 12 products, then every week you can do something every day for each one of these products every day to build the interest, build the links, and generally put the time into the traffic in that way, as opposed to the playing the numbers game, which is just all driven by search. Big mistake number 3 is not making the most out of your product's listings. So obviously that's titles, descriptions, tags, and photographs. And you've probably heard this many times, but it's absolutely crucial if you're going to be successful on Etsy or Amazon that you are an expert at writing these titles, descriptions, and tags. And if you are looking for help with that, check out my video below on writing titles and tags. If you get through that video, I promise you that you will be an expert, maybe almost an expert, at writing titles and tags for your listings and avoiding so many mistakes that I see, even from sellers who are doing really well, that you could do better. You can be part of this next generation of Etsy and Amazon sellers who are going to overtake these successful sellers in time by doing an even better job of those listings. So obviously photography, if you've got certain items that would look better on a white background, go and grab yourself a white box from Amazon to take your shots in. It just makes all the difference. Or you sometimes also you can outsource. If you go to 5R, it's easy to outsource people just putting the items onto a white background. Or if you're selling jewelry, it's really important to get a close-up on a model or yourself, really just the actual showing the item of jewelry on a person and getting all of the lighting and things like that correct. It's not that difficult, and it is something that you actually absolutely must do really well, because it's not just the title, it's also obviously a big part of getting that click-through rate is the image itself. And so obviously we've got to get the image right, we've got to get the SEO, search engine optimization, in on the title, but also a little bit of salesmanship in the title. It could be like a bit of intrigue, or just something of that's going to captivate some interest in your product. And as I say, I do have a video on that below on writing titles and tags, so do go ahead and check that out. But absolutely do a great job. So many people are they do all the work in getting their product, making their product, or sourcing their product, and they can't wait to get it in the stores, and then they rush this section. And it's just so crucial to just take the time to do your keyword research, get the listing right, make use of all of the spaces for the images, for your 20 tags, for your 140 characters in your title. Make all the time to craft that listing as to the best of your ability, and it will, I promise you, it will serve you really well in the future. Big mistake number 4 is not taking the time to learn about pricing. Obviously, pricing is really important. If you get it wrong, it can get you into a lot of trouble quite quickly. My advice is to always compete on quality, on getting your listing looking superb, and to get the traffic in on a superb looking listing, and not to become overly obsessed with the pricing of your product. It's very easy to get into price wars sometimes, especially when you're making in-demand popular products where you're not going to be the only seller of a similar item. And so I am talking from experience here, because I got into a price war with another seller on a listing. I'd already sold about the equivalent of $100,000 on this one particular craft product. So other people were coming into the market, and the price it was like $8.99 for this one particular item, and then it just one at a time. $7.99 I noticed, and I came down to the same, and $6.99, and I followed, and I thought, I've got to win this price war. I think I got down to £1.49 for an item that I was selling at £8.99, and I won the price war. The other person gave up and put their price back up, but it nearly put me out of business, because it was one of my biggest selling items, and I was very busy. But when it came to paying the tax bill, there was absolutely, it virtually wiped out the profit because the margin had just disappeared. And so I was very busy for very little reward, and it was one big lesson learned. So all that I can say is compete on quality, compete on customer service, compete on getting traffic. Be better at getting traffic, be better at writing titles, tags and descriptions, be better at photography, do the best job that you can at getting people to view your listings, and then you'll get those impulse buys. And all those buys, not everybody is surging around, not everybody wants to buy the lowest item. In many cases, you know, they see the lowest priced item and they think, oh well, okay, well maybe that's the worst quality. And so literally do compete on all of the other aspects of the listing and the customer service and packaging and all of those things, as opposed to competing on price. I promise you that in the long run it will work out in your favor. And many people that are just doing the price war thing, it's just a race to the bottom and then a race out of business. So don't do it. Don't compete on price. And just one final point on pricing: don't assume that you're going to calculate your costs and then have a set markup for every single product. Some people, they do these tables and then they've got like this, you know, cost price, and then they've got a fixed amount that they put. It could be like, you know, 3 times the cost price or 3.5 times the cost price. That's your price. There you go. You know, don't fall into that trap, because when you're introducing new products that are, you know, not really seen before, you can obviously charge many times more than that, especially if the item is going to be in high demand. I mean, I've had products where I've charged up to 9 times the cost price and people are still really happy to pay that price. If I'd had a strategy which fixed it at like 3 times or 2.5 times the cost price, then I would have lost a lot of money and sales there, because it's really not about having a fixed amount. It's about knowing your products really well and knowing the competition and exactly what's going on out there, and pricing your products accordingly so that as a whole you record a good profit margin. And that's the key here, really. So don't get fixed about having a fixed level which you're going to price your products, your markup on. Instead, look at each product individually, look at what it's selling for, and obviously charge the maximum amount that you can charge and still record a good level of sales. So that concludes my top 4 mistakes to avoid when selling crafts online. And if you want to see more, if you want to see some craft demonstrations using some really cool crafty products to make handmade products, if you want to learn more about strategy and writing titles and tags and finding in-demand products, if you want to learn more about all of those things, check out my 1-hour free training below. I've packed as much as I can into the 1 hour, and hopefully we will find that really interesting. So that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.